Welcome back. Right now we are many months into the pandemic, and we still have quite a few questions about COVID, specifically as we head into cold and flu season. How do we know if it's COVID or a cold? Well, I recently spoke with Dr. Mia all about this. Let's take a look. With the dreaded cold and flu season in full swing, Dr. Mia Finkelston joins us with expert advice on how to protect yourself and others. So what are the best tips for preventing cold and flu?
And I'm glad you asked. You know, I think coming into the cold and flu season prepared is key, and sometimes that's hard for us to do, but if during the year you take care of yourself by eating a nutrient-dense diet, getting regular sleep, exercising, and staying hydrated, as well as getting your vaccines for both flu and COVID-19, you're doing pretty well. I think some people are always wondering, well, what can I do to boost my immune system? Or what if I get sick? What can I do? And zinc is a micronutrient that has been around. It is really useful for improving or augmenting our immune systems. It also helps to heal wounds. And zinc is used in many over-the-counter cold and flu remedies that you may find familiar. Zicam in particular makes a rapid melt and a nasal swab, which are so convenient that you can carry them in your pocket, carry them in your purse, so that at the first sign of that cold coming on, the dreaded tickle in your throat or the sniffles, the coughing, the sneezing, or if you were exposed to someone with a cold, maybe at a family event or a party, you can start taking these medicines to help reduce the symptoms as well as decrease the duration of the cold itself. So it's very convenient and useful to have around. In addition to that, of course, washing your hands 20 seconds with soap and water when it's available, and keeping your hands off your face are really good tips for trying to avoid spreading cold and flu germs.
So how do we tell if we have COVID versus a cold?
Yeah, COVID and a cold definitely have some overlapping symptoms, which make it tricky. So the three symptoms that you tend to see with both, let's start there: fever, congestion, and cough. Certainly the amount of that can vary, but those symptoms are pretty consistent for both. The things that are different start with GI symptoms: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or change in stool. You can see that with the COVID-19 virus, and you tend to not see GI involvement with a common cold. In addition, the alteration of your sense of smell and taste, though it can occur with both viruses, usually with a coronavirus, it will be with you in the beginning and can have varying durations of how long it's there before it goes away. With a cold, if you are going to have an alteration in those senses, usually it's near the end of your illness. You may be feeling better, but you notice, wow, I can't taste well. And typically there's a lot of congestion with that. Those are probably the biggest symptoms. I also remind my patients that you want to take note of your surroundings. What's going on in your community? Is there an unfortunate surge of COVID going on right now? Were you individually in a high-risk situation where you may have been around someone who had known COVID? Were you, in close proximity? Pay attention to those cues as well. Have you been vaccinated? Because those will also, change your perspective of what your symptoms could be. And if you have any questions at all, reach out to your primary care physician, of course.
And where else can we get more information and resources about everything you've mentioned today?
Thanks for asking. You can go to zicam.com for more information.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mia. I really appreciate this important information about cold, flu season, and COVID. Thank you so much for your time today.
Happy to be here. Thank you.